Hello, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, and welcome to your April 2021 March reading. All right, so I'm doing things a little bit differently this month. Instead of the regular zodiac readings, I am posting 4-element pick-a-piles. So there's 3 piles. Each of them are time-stamped in the description box. So I do recommend that you pick piles for your sun element. So if you are a sun sign, either Aquarius or Gemini or Libra, that you pick a pile for your sun sign. But I also really encourage that you not only watch your sun sign reading, but also pick a pile for your moon sign reading, okay? So I will also link in the description box a great free website to go and check out your natal chart. You'll be able to get your moon sign when you do your natal chart. If you're looking for a love reading, maybe check out what your Venus element is for the month, okay? So take time, take time with the piles so that you can pick which pile you really feel drawn to. If you feel drawn to more than one pile, that's fine. You might find a message within both of these. Do keep in mind, they are all general readings, okay? So not every message is going to resonate with everybody. Don't try to make things fit that don't. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this month of April. Well, first off, we have literally just passed a full moon. I'm actually recording this video March 29th, so the full moon might actually still, for certain parts of the world, they might still be seeing the full moon today. But for most of us, it was yesterday, March 28th. And that was a full moon in Libra, okay? So Libra is a very balanced kind of energy, definitely very creative energy. Libra is ruled by the sign of Venus, so there can be balance within our, our relationships, romantically, platonically, whatever the case may be. But that is we can definitely be feeling some pressure towards that. The new moon in Aries is taking place on April the 12th, so that'll be another really big, beginning to cycles, right? We are in the season of Aries, okay? And the season of Aries is definitely about taking action, putting things into place, okay? So this is going to be a really big month, guys. So we're going to break off here, take some time, look at the piles, really feel which one is you're being drawn to or called to. Again, if you find more than one, that's totally fine. All right, I will see you at your pile. Well, hello, pile 1. Welcome back to your reading. Okay, so this is for air signs, and you chose the Light Seers deck. So I love this deck. It is definitely one of my favorites. All right, so we're going to start. Actually, sorry, I got to roll up my sleeves here so that we can get right into this. All right, we're going to start with the Energy Oracle. And what we are looking at with this Energy Oracle is the overall energy for the month. We're going to break down with the tarot into the heart of the matter, in which is going to be discussed within this pile. If you feel drawn to watch more than one pile, please, be sure to. Do keep in mind that these are general readings, so they might not resonate with everybody. Take what fits, leave the rest. All right, so this is the overall energy for pile 1 of the air sign. Pile 1 here, Spirit, the overall energy for the month of April. Thank you. Wow, we have caring connections. Holy smokes. We have caring connections and the journey here for the overall energy for the month. And we're going to get one more here. Overall, thank you. And the yin and the yang. Look at that balanced energy. Definitely for some of you, this can be discussing some sort of relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship or it's some sort of work relationship. We have caring connections, journey, and the yin and the yang. The journey is all about going on. I always find it to be very much of almost like the Fool card, and it's about going on this divine journey, this divine kind of adventure, all right, that really is leading you to your authenticity, that is really leading you down your road to to your purpose, right? The yin and the yang is all talking about, it is talking about balance, but when the yin is upwards, it's also talking about inward reflection, really following the inner truth, following the inner guidance. For some, this can definitely be talking about some sort of relationship, that has very strong soulmate connections here, something that is going to be a very balanced, lifetime kind of destined relationship. And again, that doesn't just have to be romantically, okay? All right, so those are some powerful overall energies for the month. But let us look pile one. Let's pull some tarot. So we're going to really break down here into what the heart of the matter is here that Spirit wants to discuss with you for this month of April. This is for pile one of the air signs, Spirit. What would you like for pile one of the air signs? What message would you like to convey to them today? Pile one of the air signs. Thank you, Spirit. All right, so for the heart of the matter, look at that. We have the Knight of Pentacles and the Strength card for what is challenging this heart of the matter. What is challenging the heart of the matter here for pile one, Spirit? What is challenging the heart of the matter here for pile one? Thank you. Thank you. We have the Four of Cups and this one definitely in the Five of Pentacles. Well, that makes sense. All right, what is the recent past influence here that is supporting pile one in this month of April? Thank you. Look at all this, 2 cards for everything. We have the World and the Justice here as recent past energy that is supporting you. Okay. Recent past energy that is challenging pile one. Thank you. Look at all of these multiple cards coming out. Not how I had envisioned it, but usually how I envision it is not how it goes anyway, so that makes sense. All right, so the challenging energy here, recent past challenging energy was the Eight of Wands, the King of Fire, and the Hierophant. And what is pile one promising themselves within this month, Spirit? What is pile one promising themselves? Thank you, Spirit. The Moon, the Judgment, and the Ten of Cups. Oh my goodness. All right, and Spirit's advice here going forward. What is the advice, Spirit, that you have? Thank you. The Ace of Swords. Okay. All right, guys, we have the Page of Wands on the bottom with the Magician behind that. Look at this. You know, this month, pile one for you is a month where you are really embracing this Page of Wands energy. You can see here throwing that wand up into the cycles and the patterns of the past. And she's not going forward here anymore, repeating the old patterns. She is embracing this powerhouse of the Magician energy, which is about manifesting, you know, bringing to life and the things in which she is wanting to grow. You know, the Magician energy is all of the power in which you already have within inside of you. You know, and here this Page of Wands, she is unlocking that power within inside of her this month because she's going forward here. She's ready to manifest this beginning for her. And look at this, you know, as the heart of the matter here, we have the Knight of Pentacles and the Strength. And to me, this heart of the matter is the endurance that it takes to continue to show up with this inner strength. You know, the strength isn't about, you can see here, she's half a lion, right? And she's petting this little lamb. You know, and strength is not about, you know, being the strongest at the gym. It's not about showing up and being the loudest. It's not even about, you know, going to the workplace and being like, I'm the best of the best of the best. That is not strength. Okay. Strength comes from the inward reflection. Strength comes from the truth within inside of self. Strength is not built on ego. Okay, strength is built on emotional and spiritual reliance. That is the energy of this Strength card. You know, and the Knight of Pentacles is about determination, dedication. It's about going forward, persevering through the hard times. You know, taking the steps that are needed, one foot in front of the other every day, planting the pentacles, right? Planting the pentacles to grow this inward strength, because anybody who has built that kind of resilience up within inside of themselves knows that that strength is not just built on in a whim, right? That kind of inward strength is something that takes time. It takes dedication. Okay. What is challenging this strength? Absolutely. Look at what's challenging this strength. We have the Four of Cups and the Five of Pentacles, you know, and what's challenging the Four of Cups energy is always so interesting to me because you can see here that she's looking at these spilt cups. you know, and here's this hand offering her this, like, it's funny because I always envision it like the magical rainbow, you know, how like the Skittles and the Skittles commercials. Okay, some of them are a little prerogative, but, you know, the Skittles commercials and all of a sudden it's like rainbows falling out of the sky. Okay, that's what I picture in this card. And that's the cup I picture that Spirit is offering you. You know, you're hung up staring at opportunities and staring at things that, you know, missed opportunities, missed, you know, something. Maybe cups are about emotions. Okay, so things that emotionally you have felt emptied from, right? And Spirit's like, okay, I get that. Okay, you are allowed to have the time to mourn, but don't overlook this opportunity that I'm giving you here. You know, and this is challenging this strength. Okay, this is challenging this strength and this perseverance to continue to move yourself, to continue to show up and have that faith. You know, that strength is very much talking even about our that faith over fear. You know, what is for us will not pass us by. You know, and sometimes when the road is long and it's taking time for things to come to fruition, you know, we doubt that faith. You know, and this is kind of that energy, right? The challenge here is the doubting of that faith. You know, the Five of Pentacles is about feeling very despairing, left out in the dark, abandoned, you know, and that can be applied to relationships or any aspect in which you want, right? We've all felt like this at one point or another. And sometimes this energy of the Five of Pentacles is very captivating, you know, it chains us here. It keeps us very much stuck. But you can see here the moonlight is illuminating that key here. Okay, Spirit is offering this cup of opportunity, but it's taking, that's why this is challenging, because it's challenging this dedication. It's challenging this perseverance to continue to have that faith, you know. It's easy to look at the cups that got spilt and think, oh shit, you know, we always get the shit end of the stick. We always get left out in the dark, right? Okay, I get that. That's a challenging energy. But the heart of the matter here is that you're pushing past this. You're working through this, right? The recent past energy here that is supporting you, I love it. The World and the Justice. You have completed something major here, pile one. Okay, you have put an ending to a cycle. That's the World energy. And it's the last one in the major arcana because it is that final piece to the cycle in which you learned here. You see in the Justice here, I mean, the card of the Libra, some of you may be Libras, especially this being an air sign. Some of you may definitely be Libras, you know, but it's the balance here. It's karmically making this situation right, karmically ending this cycle to go forward here balanced, okay? Very justified. You know, you put a lot of work into ending this cycle, I feel. I also feel like I need to pull a clarifier here. Spirit was like, pull a card for that World energy, will ya? So that is what I'm going to do. We're going to break down that World energy a little bit. But that is a cycle, you know. The World is about cycles. It's about acknowledging growth that has happened within inside of you, to acknowledge that you are going forward here. That lesson has been learned. Let's clarify. Six of Cups. And the Fool. Wow. Okay, look at that. For some of you, this can even be interesting enough, but the Six of Cups can definitely be some sort of twin flame, karmic relationship, mirroring relationship, right? And maybe in which for some of you, and this storyline's only going to fit for some, right? But for some of you, this Six of Cups is definitely talking about mirroring relationships. It can be often talking about twin flame relationships, soulmate relationships, karmic relationships, right? And I do feel like for some of you, this storyline is going to be where you've ended that, you know, where the reflection has been done, and this cycle has come to an end, because here's the Fool. The beginning of the major arcana and the end of the major arcana. There has been reflection done, and whether or not it's within some sort of relationship in which you're like, okay, that's not what I'm going to need. This Six of Cups is about what you do need. It is about that reflection through your life and acknowledging, okay, this is what I need to go forward. This is what I'm taking. This is what I'm not. You know, you can see all the roots within this card. It took so many different roots to build this tree up to be what it is, you know, and that is that cycle that's come to an end. It took so many roots for you to build yourself into this tree you are. But now as this tree, you get to choose, now I'm beginning new cycles. Okay. Just very much like this Fool. Now I am going forward here, a new lighthearted being, full of faith, taking that leap of faith even, right? And it's balanced. It's justice, right? It is what needed to be happen. It's what needed to happen here, pile one. You know, you needed to step up and finish that cycle for yourself. You needed to draw that line in the ground and say, this is the line. These are my boundaries. This is where that's at, you know? And I feel, pile one, that you did, you know, as a recent past energy here that is supporting you. I do feel like that completion to that cycle was done, you know, on a very, maybe for some of you, it was a very physical you know, boundary that you drew. And for others, it was that emotional, spiritual boundary in which you were just like, no, this is my faith. You know, I'm ending that cycle and I'm going forward here. I'm taking that leap of faith and continuing to show up as this Knight of Pentacles, continuing to have that faith over fear, right? Okay, so the recent past energy, though, here that was challenging you was the Eight of Wands, the King of Wands, and the Hierophant. You know, this Eight of Wands is definitely about changes. It's about sparks, you know, and it's about when things need to happen so the universe makes it happen. Okay? It's things in which need to change. It can be communication. It can be a whole bunch of different like beginnings. You can see here that it's almost like these fireworks are coming together, right? These wands are coming together and they're sparking some sort of right? Some sort of magic, some sort of now, you know, and that is spiritually driven. Okay. This is a divine kind of interference within your life that like sparks change. Okay. And sometimes that change at the time doesn't always necessarily feel good. Okay. Sometimes that change can be a really big shock for us and we're like, holy shit. But it was a change that needed to happen. Okay, even in the long run, it positively was influencing the way and the direction of your life here, you know? And I feel like what was challenging here, especially with this King of Wands, was the energy of you having to step again into that strength. See? Stepping into that role of the lion, stepping into that role of authentically what you need. You know, the King of Wands is somebody who shows up with great authenticity to his decisions and his actions. Okay? He is authentic to his heart and his soul and his mind. Really, all three. He's a combined, you know? But he is very passionate about what he needs in his life. He's not going to, you know, sell himself short for anything that is not going to fulfill him. And see, and I feel like that was greatly this part here. You know, for some of you, I mean, especially with this Hierophant, this can certainly be talking about masculine, you know, maybe a fire sign masculine or something like that, in which, you know, maybe there was, again, maybe that was that spark, right? Maybe that was that ending of that cycle, you know, because the Hierophant is talking about higher commitments. You know, but I feel like what challenged you here was that spark from the universe that said, okay, you're going to have to step up here. I know that you want to embody this King of Wands energy. So you're going to really have to step into this Hierophant energy. You're going to have to embody that higher kind of thinking, that higher kind of life, that higher kind of standards, you know. Let's clarify some of this too. Let's clarify that Eight of Wands. Can we get a clarifier for the Eight of Wands? Yeah, Four of Wands. Yeah, you know, because that spark happened because the divine was like, okay, it challenged you. Yes, there was something that definitely the universe set in your way that challenged you. But it challenged you because that beginning was aligning you to your future. It was aligning you to your happiness. Whatever way you were going, this cycle needed to end. And as much as it was challenging that something came up to end it, it ultimately opened that door to your happiness. It ultimately opened that door to the next stage with that Four of Wands. King of Wands. King of Wands. Two of Wands. King of Wands gets the Two of Wands. Yeah, see? Because that spark made you, you had to pick a path. Okay? You did pile one. You had to pick a path, and you had to pick one that was authentically going to be true to you. You know? There was sparks, there was change that was put in to action by the universe here. And the universe said, all right, pile one, which path are you going to choose? You know? And the Hierophant, as much as it was a challenging path to choose here, well, let's clarify this Hierophant before I say too much. Son of Pentacles and the Hierophant. Yep. As much as this Hierophant energy was hard for you to choose, okay? As much as that higher road can sometimes burn us in the butt as we choose it, that's exactly what you did with the Son of Pentacles and the Hierophant, clarifying this. You consistently took the steps anyway, okay? It was challenging, absolutely. But you still showed up to that higher self, pile one. You did. You really did. And I love this. So what you're promising yourself for this month of April is, look at this. You have the faith and the release, and you're opening yourself up to the happiness. Here is that faith over fear with the moon energy, right? The moon is about surrendering ourselves. Here's the judgment. Again, surrendering ourselves. Because what is for you is coming for you. It will not pass you by. And that 10 of Cups is all that happiness and all that love and all that goodness that you have been intuitively following, intuitively reaching for, because you knew it was there. Like that Son of Pentacles, you just keep showing up, pile one, and putting one foot in front of the other on that higher path of self. You continue, even through the darkness, you are continuing to show up here. You are promising yourself that even if the days are getting longer, even if the days are getting tired, you are going to go to sleep having full faith that tomorrow when you wake up, you will still be divinely supported. Okay? You are not forsaken at all. The Lord is here, hearing your prayers, answering you. That judgment is about the good things in our lives coming to be. 10 of Cups, ultimate happiness. That happiness is coming. That happiness is here. Embody it, embrace it. Open yourself up to see it, right? I do feel, pile one, that the challenges are behind you. Okay, that horrible growth, that leveling up, that has been done. Now it's sticking to it. Continuing even after that hurdle is done, continuing to be like, okay, it's coming, right? I'm not forsaken. Let's get a clarifier for this moon energy. Yeah, the moon gets the 3 of Swords. And the 3 of Swords is about the heartbreak and the heartache and those painful lessons that you are still overcoming, and having faith that the Lord will guide you past that. The Lord will heal that, Wow. Okay. Well, the Judgment gets the Death, the 2 of Swords, the Empress, and the Devil. Because here is that release to the higher. Here are those answered prayers. Here is that connection to the divine in which you have been working so diligently on, right? There has been death and rebirth. There has been a change. You have shed the skin of the old, or you are in this process of shedding the skin of the old. There has been blockages. There has been things that have gotten in your way. But I think that, this is that cycle that has come to completion. Right? You have changed and released yourself from the blockages because you allowed the transformation to take process here. You blossomed yourself into this Empress, releasing yourself from the low vibrations, releasing the stubbornness. I love how this goat's feet are on fire, because I always feel like that is just our stubbornness to let change happen. It's like we hold on to things because we're like, we know this is secure. Right? And even if it's shit, we're like, well, it's shit, but at least we know it's shit. You know what I mean? And I feel that this is what you are promising yourself, is to let go of that narrative, right? Let go of that narrative that it's all going to be shit, maybe for one, maybe for some of you, that's a narrative that fits. But even just to release the idea of those structures so that you can go forward here and allow Spirit to really show you what is destined to be built here, not your visual on it, but the Lord's visual on it, right? Because this 10 of Cups is what you're after. You're promising yourself to get this 10 of Cups. But in order to embrace that 10 of Cups, you have to allow the divine to, holy smokes, that was a lot. We're not taking all those. We'll take the Magician, but you have to allow the divine to really bring to life, right? This happiness, because we can't see all the pieces, guys. We can't see the Magician and the 10 of Wands clarify that. Ten of Cups. Yep. Because this happiness and this fulfillment, this light, well, you have the power here to release yourself from the burdens that are keeping you from that happiness. Okay? And that is what you are promising yourself here. You are releasing yourself from the low vibration. Okay? Allowing the divine here to heal the heartache. Right? Dedicated, persevering, showing up to this inner strength. I love it. And Spirit's guide to go forward here was the Ace of Swords. You know? Allow the divine here to guide you. You know, allow your intuition here to be what sparks this. Because the aces are gifts from Spirit. You know, and the swords is higher thinking, my friend. There's an idea. There's something here for you. Look at that, Father of Cups. Well, that's interesting. We have the Father of Cups, the Chariot, the Father of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, and the Daughter of Swords. There is forward movement here for you, you know, and when you begin to really align your emotional drive to the actual action steps of your life, you know, when what you want emotionally is what you are actually taking the steps tangibly to move towards. The energy in which you put out is going to benefit is going to benefit your growth, because what you put out is what you get back in. So if you are authentically giving yourself emotionally and you are authentically showing up to the action steps required of you, you will get that authentic kind of fulfillment back. Okay, this is Page of Swords here is at the end of this. You know, allow yourself just to pause here. You can see all these brand new ideas are floating around her. Allow yourself to pause. Okay, allow yourself to really just take that step. See things for what they are. You will know when the time is right. You know, Spirit is that Ace of Swords. Spirit is guiding you here with the answers, but they are within you. So quiet yourself, be present, so that you may know what those next steps are. All right, so we're going to finish off here with the Moonology. What does pile 1 need to know going forward in the month of April? Thank you, Spirit. Wow, thank you. Okay, there was a couple, and I was wondering if one didn't flip, but I don't think it did. It flipped back. Okay, so we have expect powerful change, the new moon eclipse. Absolutely. Expect powerful change, pile 1, if you didn't already notice that. Be bold and make the first move. Wow. Surrender to the divine. There we are. That's what we're talking about here, right? What you are promising yourself. Surrender to the divine. Absolutely. And you are good enough. Wow, what a way to end that. All right, pile 1. Well, thank you so much for being here. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to hit the thumbs up. Like always, if you found resonation, be sure to drop a yellow heart or a sunflower emoji in the comment section. At the end of every month, I draw a free personal read. So if you are interested in one of those, make sure to drop your yellow hearts or sunflowers in the comment. All right, guys. Well, until next time, take great care of your beautiful soul. Bye now. Hello, pile 2, and welcome back to your reading. Okay, so this is for air signs. This is pile 2 for the air signs. Now, keep in mind, it is a general reading, so the messages aren't going to resonate with everybody. Take what fits, leave what doesn't. You know, if you find you're drawn to more than one pile, please be sure to watch both. I mean, you might find messages in both readings for sure, both piles. All right, so we are going to start with the energy oracle here, and we're just going to pull an overall energies for the month of April. It still blows my mind that we're already in April, but here we are. All right, so this is the overall energy here for air signs pile 2 for the month of April. This is the overall. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Wow. All right. So we have a woman holding a coin. Interesting enough, a man holding a coin, and community. Okay. Well, those are some intense overall energies here. And look at this. We have the door to romance on the bottom of the deck with the temple path behind it and the garden and the gate behind that. Holy smokes, pile 2. Well, okay. So, I mean, we do have these two counterparts right here, right out in the front with the door to romance on the bottom. Pile 2, maybe for some of you, you know, you are watching this for a relationship, or you are watching this with some sort of romantic interest for this month. You know, with these two counterparts coming out here, well, one storyline that I'm, especially with this community here, you know, it can be some sort of relationship here. Maybe it's a work relationship. You know, maybe there's other people involved. Maybe it's one of those situationships, right, where there's still like extras on the side, but you're not really committed. These two, though, when they come out like this, and I mean, this is only going to fit for some, and definitely, it definitely has more of that kind of love story to it, or this explanation definitely does. But to me, this is like where you are definitely talking about two of the same kind of beings. A divine masculine being who is very solid in their worth, solid in their workplace, but also a divine feminine energy who is very much solid in her worth, you know, solid in what she is manifesting, and solid in which she is bringing to the table here. For some of you, again, I mean, this community can be all sorts of different things, okay? It can be friend circles, you know, maybe that's how, you know, these two even come to meet up. Again, it could be a work thing. It could be a whole lot of different things. Those are interesting overall energies. All right, well, let's pull some, let's get into the tarot here. We're going to look at the heart of the matter, what's challenging that heart of the matter, then some recent past influences, really what you're promising yourself this month, and then Spirit's advice. So this is the Journey Home Tarot, and this deck is only meant to be read in the upright. Okay, so Spirit, what is the heart of the matter here for the month of April for pile 2? Thank you. You have the Three of Pentacles. Look at that. Very much like the community card, actually. The Three of Pentacles is, again, building. You know, building structures, building relationships, building foundations. Interesting. Okay. What is challenging this heart of the matter this month? Thank you. Seven of Swords. Okay. Recent past energy that is supporting pile 2 here. What is the recent past energy that is supporting pile 2? Thank you, Spirit. We have interesting enough, we have the Knight of Pentacles, we have the Eight of Wands, and we have the Ace of Wands. Okay, very interesting. What is challenging? What recent past energy is challenging pile 2? Okay, we have the King of Pentacles, the Star, and the Ten of Wands. Wow. There is a lot of wand and earth action happening today. All right. Okay, and what is pile 2 promising themselves this month of April, Spirit? What is pile 2 promising themselves? Beyond judgment. Beautiful. And Spirit's guidance here going forward. Spirit, what is your guidance going forward here for pile 1? The Empress. Sorry, not pile 1, pile 2. We have the Empress. We have the Knight of Wands. We have the Three of Swords. And we have the Ace of Swords. Holy smokes. You guys, pile 2, it's interesting because, I mean, it's two totally different decks, but yet some cards definitely came out within pile 1 too, which I kind of find interesting. Look at this, 5 of Cups on the bottom of the deck with the Two of Swords behind that. You know, oh, and the Two of Cups behind that. Interesting. There is some healing here with this 5 of Cups on the bottom of the deck and the Two of Swords behind it. There's some healing here that you've been blocked from, pile 2, okay? There's some emotional healing here. Some cups have been spilt. There's some things that you gotta let go, okay? Emotionally, there is some healing that needs to be done because it's blocking you here. And this Two of Cups is behind that. And I mean, we have the Door to Romance on the bottom. You have the two counterparts right here. There is definitely some emotional healing, I would say, pile 2, that needs to be done here on your behalf. So what is the heart of the matter? Well, we have the Three of Pentacles, you know, and as I was saying, that's about structures. It's about teamwork. It's about building things for a future here. Let's clarify this Three of Pentacles. We have the Ace of Cups and the Son of Wands. Yeah. You know, the Ace of Cups, it's interesting enough because here's this opportunity. You know, in Aces of Cups, oftentimes they're talking, you know, again, if we're talking about some sort of romance here, we are talking about a cup of opportunity, you know, a new cup of love. You know, in the Son of Wands here, this is the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands is about very much showing up passionate, authentic to who you are, you know, really beating to the sound of, or dancing to the sound of your own drum, you know. And I feel like, especially when it's coming to this heart of the matter here, it's about going forward here to build something with others. Maybe it is in a relationship, but it is about building a foundation, going forward, building something new here, but doing it authentically. You know, because in order for you to, if we're talking relationships for sure, in order for you to really have a relationship that's going to be built and sustainable, you know, not only for yourself, but obviously for a partner, it's going to have to be something that is authentic to you. Because trying to build relationships on any ground that is anything but authentic to us, we'll end up being fake in the end, right? Like it's not going to be a true, solid kind of foundation, really. It's interesting too that within this depiction of this deck, it's almost like this maze, you know, and he's standing here on all of these books. Like he's got the tools in his hand. He can kind of like, he's got his binoculars so he can foresee where he's going, you know, but he's got to get through this maze to get to the key here, right? What is challenging this matter? What is challenging this forward movement and this this building, this new opportunity here? Maybe even what's challenging your authenticity was the Seven of Swords. You know, and you can see here that like this poor child is hiding underneath, you know, in this box down here. Isn't that interesting? It's almost like this child's hiding down here, stuffed in a box that doesn't fit him. You know, and how many times have we done that, right? We try to fit ourselves into limiting structures or relationships that don't fit us. You know, we try to make ourselves small enough to fit in that box in which somebody wants, but we're not meant to fit in boxes, you know. And the Seven of Swords, interesting enough, can be the energy where people do you wrong, okay, where people make you feel small. You know, it can be the energy where it's interesting, but I always say like it can be the energy where people trespassed against you, you know, energetically, physically, whatever the case may be, but, you know, where they cross your boundaries, right? They leave you feeling shitty. They leave you feeling small, stuck, hiding, right? Very challenging energy. And I can see that when you're wanting to build something here, build some sort of future, show your authenticity, it's hard for you to do so. That's a challenging matter because past you has been stuffed in a box. I hope not literally, but you know what I mean? Like you've been made to feel small here, pile two. Let's clarify that Seven of Swords. Wow, that's a lot. Wow, cards are just a-flipping like crazy today. The High Priestess, the Queen of Wands, the Hierophant, and the Son of Pentacles. Yep. You know, this challenge here is for you to really, again, follow this, you know, follow this inner light, follow your intuition, follow your inner knowing. You know, it's funny that the Queen of Wands here, I mean, out of all the queens, I would say she is the biggest, you know, and I shouldn't say biggest. I just feel like she is the most, that Queen of Wands energy is that most flamboyant, passionate, raw, authentic side of self. You know, it is the flame side of self here, right? And that divine feminine energy here, here's that intuition and here's that inner passion, you know, that inner truth, that inner light, that inner spark to self here. And I feel again with that seven, as it clarifies the Seven of Swords, it's because you've been made to feel dampened. That light had to be turned down for the sake of others, right? And here you're stepping outside of that. You know, the heart of the matter here is that you are wanting and ready to build something that is authentic to you, like the Knight of Wands here, right? But it's challenging, certainly enough. You know, in order to overcome, you know, this kind of, it could be trauma-based for sure, emotional wounds of whatever. Keep in mind, swords are all about being in our headspace too. So this is stuff that really, the mental, you know, fuckery can really slow us down, right? But this is where you got to keep showing up to that higher self with the oh my gosh, with dedication, perseverance, right? Son of Pentacles. One foot in front of the other energy, right? Very powerful. All right, so what is the past influencing energy or the recent past I am fumbling all over my words. The recent past oh my goodness. All right, let's try this one more time. The recent past energy that is supporting you. There we go. All right, so we had the King of Pentacles. Nope, I'm wrong. That would be the Knight of Pentacles. Interesting enough, there it is again. The Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. We have the Knight of Pentacles, we have the Eight of Wands, and we have the Ace of Wands. This is the past, your past supporting energy here is where you have continued to show up. You've continued to put one foot in front of the other. The Eight of Wands is where Spirit kind of comes in and there's a bit of a shakeup. Okay, there can be communication that comes in. There is positive change though. Something from the outside sources influences positive change within your life. And with the Ace of Wands here, that is a new beginning. Aces are gifts from Spirit. Okay, and wands are about our spirituality. Wands are about our authenticity. Wands are about our passion, our fire, what burns us on the inside. That light of self is that wand energy, right? And here, this is what is supporting you is that you have continued to show up to allow those changes, those positive changes to influence new beginnings here. You know, I really do feel, Pile 2, that you have, even if you have been made to feel small and in a box, even if that is what used to define you, you are not in the victim mentality anymore. Victimized, yes, maybe, you know, at a point, you know, you have been victimized and made to feel small. You know, you do have wounds, yes, but you are not in that victim mindset. You are not just your wound. You know, you have had a wound and now you have grown beyond that. You've allowed Spirit to continue to embrace and align you to new opportunities, new beginnings, right? New passion, new fire, new spark, new drive, right? What is challenging you here in recent past energy, though, we had the King of Pentacles, the Star, and the Ten of Wands, which to me is very much like, as much as this energy was supporting you and you continued to show up, what challenged you was that kind of finalization piece to the healing and the answered prayers, you know, the releasing of the burdens. It was almost as though I feel like what was supporting you was like that, okay, I'm going to continue to put one foot in front of the other. I know I want this healing. I know I want this change. But what was challenging you was actually putting the feet, you know, one foot in front of the other, having faith in those dreams and releasing yourself from the heaviness of the burdens. You know, because I think sometimes we get really stuck in that survivor mindset, right? And we're like, okay, we know we can't stay here. So we just kind of grab what we can and we continue forward. But we really need to, actually, I was having this conversation this morning and I was like, you know, sometimes I do a skim, right? I just kind of skim over the energy that I really need to like, that self-accountable energy. Sometimes I just kind of do a skim over that, you know, and I kind of feel like that maybe is what, you know, some of that challenging energy was in the recent past. You were kind of skimming over the surface level of what needed to happen and like, okay, guys, I see you there, and I see you there. So I'm just going to kind of, you know, sweep you guys into a bag and you guys can sit there and I'll deal with you at a later date. Right? But when we are really committed to making the change and we're really committed to releasing ourselves from burdens and really committed to, you know, emptying that heavy load so that we can continue to walk down the path of purpose meant for us, you know, that can be a very big challenge. Absolutely. Right? That's a very challenging energy for us to release ourselves from that, again, from those heavy energies, you know, and just say, okay, no, I actually have to, I can't just skim over this. I'm going to actually have to dig down, sit with this for a bit and release this for once and for all. Right? You know, I feel like, and through that process, right? Like, especially with the star energy, because the star is about hopes and dreams and connecting here to the divine. It's about prayers, you know, saying prayers, but also prayers being heard and prayers being fulfilled and feeling like our prayers are being heard and fulfilled. And I think sometimes because the process can be long to move from one chapter to the next, we oftentimes end up in that kind of lull where we're like, are we actually like, are we on the right path? Right? Are my prayers actually going to be heard, or am I just kind of, putting one foot in front of the other out here in the muck and not actually getting anywhere, right? And I feel that that could have been a very challenging recent past energy for you. As much as you were dedicated and determined, ready to show up, ready to find that new spark, it was still challenging for you to have that faith, right? And what you're promising yourself, I love this, is the judgment, and the judgment energy is about that promise to just have the faith, allow the divine to just be, right? Look at the dove, peace, right? Here's your anchor in the divine, right? Having that ultimate kind of what you're promising yourself is anchoring yourself to that faith, I feel. Anchoring yourself to that divine peace. Let's clarify that judgment. Can we get a clarifier for that judgment? Thank you. Yeah, look at that. 8 of Swords and the 9 of Pentacles. Interesting enough. And it's interesting enough too, as we were talking about that, being victimized or being a victim kind of energy, right? And that is the 8 of Swords energy, because it's oftentimes where we trap our own selves in our own limiting beliefs and our own fears, right? And it can be the energy in which we do feel victimized. We do feel that we are our wound. Not that we have only been wounded, but we are our wound. Right? And this is that energy here where you are promising yourself to move beyond that. Becoming very accountable for your own energy. The 9 of Pentacles is all about finding fulfillment within inside of self. But in order to find fulfillment within inside of self, one must be accountable for the energies in which you are feeding yourself. If you are feeding yourself a lot of fear and a lot of and a lot of that kind of, oh, that's a funny way to, I hear victim serum, where you're just like, oh, I am all these bad things that happen to me, or I am this, or I am that, right? That's the energy that you're going to be continuing to put out. But if you can say, well, I have this wound, but I've healed myself from this, or I have this wound, but I'm anchored in this faith that I am healing, that I am moving past it, that this wound does not define me, whatever that may be. You release yourself from this kind of ideal that, or this idea that you are just trapped here. Okay, that you're trapped and small. And that's what you're promising yourself here, right? You're promising this accountability. You're promising this peace and this faith to the divine here. And isn't it interesting that the waters almost even look rough here, right? And you're promising still to just like hold on to this peace. Anchor yourself in that faith, Wow. Definitely promising yourself to be accountable for that energy. Okay? I love it. I really do, Pile 2. This is an awesome reading. All right, so Spirit's advice here going forward. We have the Empress. And look at this. What are you manifesting? What are you giving birth to? And here you can see the moon, right? And the moon is always that divine connection to spirit. Okay, that moon is always that do not fear what is in the shadows because the Lord is with you, or the higher, whatever that is to you. We're big enough people here that a name isn't going to throw us off. We all know that we're talking, about the Creator, whatever that is. Okay. The energy here of this Empress, though, Spirit is saying, go forward. Okay. Manifest. We have this Knight of Wands, because it is about your authenticity. Okay? It is about going through the doorways that are going to serve your authenticity. Okay? We have the 3 of Swords. Yeah, brokenheartedness, and that's interesting enough because Pile 1 also had the 3 of Swords come up, because brokenheartedness is a big one. Broken hearts is what keeps us stuck. And that doesn't need to be on romantic levels. That can definitely be broken hearts and swords and wounds and trauma done even from childhood, right? Like there's all sorts of things that cause emotional trauma within our lives, right? But this is the healing. This is how Spirit is like, no, you're moving yourself through this. You're growing. You're giving birth to this new authentic version of self. Okay, there is a new way forward with the Ace of Swords here. There is clarity, there is truth to be had. And isn't it beautiful how it's like the sun, this guy's just like banging on this like, oh, what are those things? Like a big, I don't know actually what they're called. But he's just like, you know, bringing in the morning light, bringing in the new day, right? And the waters here, isn't that beautiful? The waters here are just like flowing all around him. You know, and Spirit's advice here is for you to embrace that authentic self. Allow yourself to really come forward here. Yes, there is pains. Yes, there is wounds, but there is truth here to be had. You know, there is truth here for you to go forward, pile 2. So that healing can come, you know, and for some of you, there is going to be past emotional traumas, again, whether that's from childhood, parental relationships, maybe it's friendships, maybe it is old romantic relationships. For some of you, going forward here and really opening yourself up to build new relationships, you know, it's going to be, I do feel like you're really looking for a relationship where it's going to be an equal kind of partnership, right? You're not looking for one-sided growth here. You're looking for a solid counterpart, somebody who is legitimately understands what it takes to be a growing human, you know, emotionally, financially, physically, right? Like spiritually. That I get it, pile 2. I totally get it. All right, so let's pull a Moonology couple. I cannot speak with you guys. I don't know what is going on. Maybe you guys are having a hard time talking to somebody, but I don't know. I had no problem speaking in pile 1's video, and I am just tripping all over my tongue here, pile 2. So I don't know what's going on. All right, let's see though. Let's pull some Moonology oracles here to finish this out. What messages of encouragement here do you have, Spirit, for pile 2 going forward for this month of April? All right, messages of encouragement. Thank you. Thank you. Oh boy. Well, interesting enough. All right, we have confidence is your key to success with the new moon in Leo. Believe in the impossible, the blue moon. Love that energy. Believe in the impossible. And a fiery climax approaches, the full moon in Aries. Yeah, man. April's a big month, guys, okay? It is. Aries is the season of Aries is a time of taking action, of things coming to fruition, of things coming to a head, right? It is a month of action, for sure. All right, pile 2. Well, that was an absolutely beautiful reading. Thank you so much for being here. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up or drop a yellow heart or a sunflower in the comment box if you found resonation. At the end of every month, I pull a draw for a free personal read. And if that's something you are interested in, be sure to drop a yellow heart or a sunflower emoji in the comment box, as those are the ballots. All right, guys, until next time, take great care of your beautiful soul. Bye now. Well, hello, pile 3, and welcome to your reading. Okay, so pile 3 for the air signs. So we're going to start with the energy oracle. Keep in mind, this is a general reading, okay, guys? So it's not going to fit for everybody. If you feel drawn to more than one pile, I do encourage you to watch both, as you might find a message in both that you are resonating with. Okay, one last shuffle here. So we're going to start with the energy oracle. We're going to pull the overall energy, you know, for the month of April here. I can't believe that we're in April already, but we are. All right, so we're going to pull the overall energy, and then we're going to get into the tarot and really dig into the heart of the matter here that Spirit's really wanting to discuss within this pile, okay? So this is for pile 3 for the month of April, Spirit. What is the overall energy here for pile 3 for the month of April? Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. All right, so we have the Angel of Love, a happy family, and a man holding a coin. Well, 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 look at that. The Angel of Love, I actually heard another reader the other day say, you know, this always reminded her of the Cupid card. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what this card is. You know, the Angel of Love is about the love that you have for all things around you. You know, it is about romantic love. It is about family love. It is about just that love for the things that bring you passion and joy and happiness within life. We have happy family behind that. So to me, I'm talking, you know, this can definitely be the energy of, you know, love towards a happy family, You know, whether that is your growing family or you know, your extended family or whatever that case may be. Put that family card where it fits, right? And then we have a man holding a coin, which is masculine energy here. And masculine energy, that's very much knows their worth, you know, and masculine energy doesn't definitely, we're not, you know, it goes beyond just gender, obviously. When we're talking about masculine energy, we're talking about the action energy within inside of us, you know? So even when I am talking divine masculine, divine feminine within readings, it's never gender specific, okay? Masculine energy is that action side within inside of self, and divine feminine energy is very much that inner guidance, that inner knowing, that intuitive side of self, right? So I do feel like this overall energy here, there is some sort of connection, whether this has to do with something to do with your workplace. I mean, it certainly can be a masculine, maybe a boss type, or masculine, you know, within your life, somebody who is maybe through work or even just, you know, a big player at the table right now. I feel as an overall energy here for the month, I mean, we've got heart on this, we've got the heart on of the, you know, we've got our hearts on our sleeves here. We've got our happy family. We've got, you know, that action and that, I find like this is almost like that King of Pentacles energy too, right? Like, I feel like that's just that masculine energy of self here. Maybe for some of you, you know, you're working on business ventures, business opportunities, building some sort of, you know, solid, secure base here, you know, for your family or for relationships or whatever the case may be. All right, so that's some interesting overall energy here. You're going to have to certainly apply that to where that fits in your life. So using the Good Tarot here, this is by Colette Baron-Reid. And I do feel like I should let you know, we only take uprights in this card. That is how Colette has written the deck, is that it is only to be read in the uprights. So I just thought I would point that out too before we get into it. All right, one last shuffle here, and then let us see. So for pile 3 for the air signs for the month of April, Spirit, what is the heart of the matter here for pile 3? Heart of the matter, thank you. Goodness, I can't get over this. 8 of Wands has literally come out in all piles. Not in the same spot, but it's definitely come out. There is this change and this spark happening that is just being put into action here by Spirit. You know, that's the 8 of Wands energy, you know, divine kind of, I always feel like it's like divine interaction, right? Where Spirit's like, and change needs to happen. Here you go. Whether it's communication or it's something like, you know, something new beginning. That 8 of Wands energy to me is always very much where the divine, the universe aligns things, sparks change, puts things into action here. And that I feel like, you know, a big reason again as to why this 8 of Wands has come out in all 3 piles is because that happens in the Aries season. Right? New beginnings happen in the Aries season. Action starts. Things that maybe we've been holding back on and maybe not taking steps for. Maybe we've been like teeter-tottering whether or not we're going to do it. Spirit's like, here, man, here's some action. You're going to have to either, you know, let it pass you by, or you're going to actually step in and kind of go with it here, right? All right, so we have the Queen of, wow, interesting. We have the Queen of Water and the Fool as well. Look at that. Here's that change, man. You know? This is exactly what I was just talking about. Here's that spark. Here's that new adventure, right? And to me, you know, this heart of the matter here is this change that Spirit has put into action. Queen of Cups is all about that divine feminine energy that is connected to emotion. Okay, you can see here, her eyes are closed. She's intuitively listening here to divine guidance. Okay, she's gone below surface level. Okay, so she's not just at the surface level here skimming on top. Okay, she's really done this inward dive, and this is where this new energy of the Fool has come in. Okay, she is connecting herself here emotionally to begin this next journey. Okay, the Fool is all about taking that leap of faith. All right, let's see, what is challenging the heart of this matter here? What is challenging the heart of this matter here in the month of April? Thank you, Spirit. Oh, wow. Okay, well, we have the Judgment, which is the call card in this deck. We have the Page of Fire, and we have Justice. Okay. What is recent past energy that is supporting? That wants to go over here. The Lovers. Okay, what is recent past energy that is challenging? The Nine of Air. What do you promise yourself, pile 3? What is pile 3 promising themselves this month? Three of Wands. Oh, beautiful. And Spirit's advice going forward. Spirit, what's your advice going forward for pile 3? Thank you. The Star. Well, all right. We have the Page of Earth here, guys. Look at that. That's 2 pages out. Okay. There's new beginnings, new tangible beginnings. I know maybe for some of you, you're like, okay, yeah, but where? I don't know, but they're here. They're starting, okay? They are here. There could be a lot of options before you right now. You know, maybe for some of you, there's a lot of options. And one of the big things here that is going to be a very large benefit for you, pile 3, is where you are accountable for the changes that need to happen. Okay, you are accountable for your energy. You are accountable for what you are putting into motion. All right, so let's get started here. The heart of this matter, we had the Eight of Wands, the Queen of Cups, and the Fool. You know, and as I was saying, that's a change from the universe, that spark that was put into action here by the universe. Something, and that spark really, I feel like it really, I hear triggered, but I don't even necessarily feel like it was a bad trigger. Okay, you know, it's not like a negative trigger by any means, but it was something that pulled heartstrings here. Okay, there was some sort of beginning, there was some sort of spark here put into action that pulled some sort of emotional trigger here for you. And in order for you to really go forward with this Fool energy here, it takes getting very deep, real, and raw with your emotions. Let's get one for the Eight of Wands here. The Eight of Wands gets the Eight of Swords. The Queen of Cups gets the Queen of Swords. Wow. And the Fool gets the Page of Cups. Yeah, see? You know, I feel, here's this heart of the matter here, you know, and there is change. And I feel like that's where you've been stuck, you know, and that's why Spirit came in here and sparked this change. Okay, that's why this firework of the Eight of Wands was put underneath you, because it was like you were sitting here in the Eight of Swords energy, feeling trapped, feeling very stuck. You know, maybe there are wounds that you were holding on to and you were like, oh, I can't get past this wound, or I can't heal this wound, and you know, and you just kept playing that narrative, right? Because the Eight of Swords is about limiting ourselves, trapping ourselves. You know, and swords are all about our thinking. Swords are about higher intellect, right? And so if we are the ones who are preaching our limitations back into our own minds, it makes it very hard for us to see our way forward, right? And that's where this spark needed to come in. That's why the universe applied change to this situation, because change needed to happen in order for you to remove yourself from the Eight of Swords energy, in order for you to look past that. You know, the Queen of Cups here clarified by the Queen of Swords, you know, because again, that Queen of Swords is very cold. You know, the Queen of Swords in a distorted energy is very cutthroat, very cold, very defensive, you know, and not even defensive like she's willing to fight with you. She's just not even willing to give you the time, you know? And I feel like, again, that could have come from this energy here of the Eight of Swords, right? Where there was wounds and there was trauma, emotional trauma, you know, and that can be at very many different levels, but there was emotional trauma here that was still burdening your soul. And in order for you to really go forward here with this Fool energy, you had to really get past that coldness and really actually feel the emotion, right? Because look at that. The Fool here with the Page of Cups. Well, for some of you, I mean, the Page of Cups can be talking about new love. And for some of you, you know, maybe new love is something that you weren't opening your heart up to because it had been wounded. You know, you had those wounds of the past. I've been done wrong. I've been hurt. I've been used. I've been abused, whatever the case may be. But you had all these swords that you were trapping yourself in with, right? You were cold cut here. But in order to go forward here with this Fool energy, in order to take this leap of faith and open yourself back up with the Page of Cups energy, it takes you embracing emotion, you know? And I mean, I can definitely, you know, attain for that one, because I am one who can, you know, sometimes that survival mindset takes over, right? And we think, no, we'll block that out. You know, we'll block out like the Queen of Swords. We'll just cut that shit out and we just boom, ice queen it, right? And in order to heal, in order to go forward, emotionally balanced within our own selves, we have to be true to the emotions that are inside, you know? Survival mindset tells us to keep those buried, you know, don't allow them to get them. But we're not in survival mindset. We're in thriving mindset. And in order to thrive, we have to take out the pain and heal it. See what I'm saying here? What's challenging this is the whole healing process, really, right? Because we have the call card here. That's the judgment. That's releasing ourselves here to the higher, allowing the divine to really bring to be what is for us. You know, having that faith that we are forgiven for whatever the past may, you know, or that we're healed or whatever that may look like, right? That journey card, that call card, the judgment, like it is just that release from our burdens, you know? It is that connection to the creator, whatever that is in your world, but is that connection to our divine purpose, that healing that comes with that connection to the divine purpose, you know? And the challenge, again, we're talking about challenges, you know, towards this beginning of this new cycle of self here, right? And the Page of Wands is about where you are throwing, I always picture it like you're throwing the wand up and kicking the shit out of the old patterns, right? Saying no more. You know, acknowledging the growth that has been put into self, because that Page of Wands has gone through all of those cycles of the Wands. And the Ten of Wands is before the Page of Wands. And the Ten of Wands is releasing yourself from burdens. You know, and when you release yourself from the burdens, you embrace the Page of Wands energy behind that. And that is the energy of going forward, healed, lighthearted, inspired to be a new version of self, inspired from the growth in which you have, you know, in which you have gone through, right? The growth and the cycles in which you have come from. Here, that Page of Wands is that new beginning, to open self back up here, you know, to align and build your patterns, your new patterns, built off of who you want to be, right? Built off of the life and the light that you are bringing out. Justice. Look at that. Absolutely. It's hard to bring justice and balance to situations because sometimes I find that it's just easier. Again, it's that survival mindset, you know, and in order to really pull ourselves from the survival mindset, we have to bring justice, you know, and I love how this sword is on fire in this deck, right? Because it's like that energy of like, this is my truth, right? This is what I stand for. This is what I'm solid in. This is who I am. And I mean, this is an air sign. So for some of you, you know, maybe, you know, this is that energy, you know, of a Libra, right? So for maybe some of you watching this, you are a Libra, and it is that energy of embracing really, truly who you are, you know, your truth, your light, your balanced self, right? And the Eight of Swords again, right? Like, yeah, challenging, obviously, you know, we stick ourselves in our own limiting beliefs more often than others stick us in, you know, because we don't feel that we are worthy enough, or we don't feel like we are going to be able to, you know, sustain what we need to within our own energy space, or, you know, it all comes down to self-confidence and lack of faith within inside of self, and ultimately lack of faith, obviously, within a divine or a higher, right? Because when we feel that we are not able to, I don't know, bring light, then ultimately we're questioning that divinity within inside of self, right? Because we are not, like, we are all divinely made. Each of us has our own unique light and unique gifts, you know? So if that is what we're being called to shine, right? That's a divine gift, my friends. Embrace those divine gifts. Okay. Wow. That's some challenging heart of the matter stuff here. Don't allow yourself, you are not, you know, I've been reading this great book. It's called Claim Your Power. It's by Maston Kipp. And one of the things that he really breaks down in there is the difference between victimization and being a victim. You know, and victimization is all about, yes, you have been wounded. Yes, you have been victimized. Yes, horrible things have happened. There is trauma caused by what people have done to you, you know? Absolutely. You have a wound. But being a victim is claiming I am my wound. Being victimized is I have a wound, yes, but I am growing past that wound. That wound is not going to define who I am. Being a victim is allowing that wound to define who you are, And that's the Eight of Swords energy. Have you been victimized, or are you a victim? Are you your wound, or have you been wounded? Right? And it's a matter of making our mindset up in which one. And I know, and I'm not overlooking I'm not overlooking the scenarios in which one may be victimized. I am not, by any means. There are horrible things that happen in this world that make many people victims every day, right? There is. But this is the energy of embracing the higher past that, right? Am I my wound, or have I just been wounded, right? Am I bigger than my wound? I'm here to tell you, you are bigger than your wound. We always are. So recent past energy here that was supporting you was the Lovers. And I love that. The Lovers is actually the energy of choice. Okay. It is the energy of connection. It is the energy of two beings. It is the energy of ultimate love, but ultimately it is the energy of choice. Okay. And as a past supporting influence here, for some of you, there could be a relationship here that supported you. We have the Sun. Wow, the Sun, the Nine of Wands, and the Chariot, and it's interesting that choice is really what came to my mind when I seen that Lover's energy, because it is about the happiness. You chose here to keep moving. You chose here to follow the happiness. The Nine of Wands is not easy cycles that have been completed. It's interesting that Page of Wands came up as a challenge, and as I said, that 10 of Wands was the energy of releasing yourself from burdens. Well, the Nine of Wands energy is where you are coming from, like literally fresh out of Jurassic Park. Okay. The cycles have been tough. Wounded warrior, exhausted, right? And here, challenging energy, supporting energy of the recent past is that fulfillment, that sun, that happiness, you were moving yourself towards that. Maybe for some of you, you've seen some of that goodness. Maybe for some of you that those rays of sunshines were shining down on you, and you were going, yes, okay, you were exhausted. Yes, okay, the cycles have been tough and the journey's been long, but you continued to show up. You were still moving your chariot. You took direction here. You took control of the reins and drove your chariot towards the happiness, no matter how exhausted you were. You chose that, right? You chose the happiness. You chose the forward movement. That is something to be very proud of yourself for, pile 3. What was challenging you was the Nine of Swords. Okay. And again, that Nine of Swords energy is that in traditional tarot, right? In the Rider-Waite, it's this poor person, and they're sitting up in bed and there's all these swords above their heads. And I love in the depiction of this deck that she's just like throwing her cares away, releasing herself from that anxiety, releasing herself from the mental fuckery, from the fears, from the stress, from the worries, whatever the case may be there, right? But she's releasing herself here, and that's a challenge. It can be a challenge to get out of our own way. It can be a challenge to get out of our own way when it comes to our own thinking, for sure. And being an air sign, sometimes our overthinking can kick us in the butt. Look at that. We have the Six of Swords, the Two of Cups, and the Judgment. Yep. What can be challenging, again, it's interesting, for some of you, there is going to be some sort of relationship that you can relate this back. And it could be because it's a new relationship. You've had some past issues, and now you're like moving in to some sort of new romantic relationship here. And there's just this, the Six of Swords is about the transformation that it takes. Going from the past and moving to the future. And sometimes that transformation can be very, the waters can be a little rough. Okay. Sometimes that transformation from the past to the future, it's a challenging transformation. Transformation's not an easy thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's always going to be worth it, but it's not maybe necessarily always the easiest process, and I feel like for some of you, a challenge can be here, especially within relationships, is having that kind of faith. Releasing the fears, releasing all of, the past traumas maybe that really hindered your faith in connections with others. Again, whether that's romantic, platonic, I don't know, friendships, okay, whatever that may be, work related, but it is that challenge of having that faith, right? That those you are building with are building with you, right? And it's interesting because the Judgment was there again. You know, very much like this, right? It's that faith, the faith in the divine, faith in the higher. What you're promising yourself, though, here is that you are moving on the higher path, pile 3. You're holding yourself to higher intentions, holding yourself to a higher vibration. You know, that 3 of Wands energy is all about looking at the path before you and choosing the one that is going to authentically serve your light, your passion, your happiness, your authenticity. You know, what sparks that joy within your soul, that is the 3 of Wands energy. It's about chasing your dreams, right? Aligning yourself to a life that emotionally fulfills you, spiritually fulfills you, you know, that you're not just showing up and putting in the same robotic actions day after day, you know. Clarify this 3 of Wands. Yeah, 10 of Swords. Yeah, okay. You know, what you're promising yourself here is you're cutting out the negative bullshit. You really are, right? I get it. It's hard to release yourself from that kind of mental thinking sometimes. It's hard to release ourselves from the pains and the toxicity of the past. But what you are promising yourself here is that you can, you will, and you definitely deserve much more than all of that low vibration toxicity of the past. Okay? You don't need to be chained by past trauma. Okay? Spirit is saying here to go forward, have faith, open up, right? Connect here to the divine, connect here to the cosmos. Allow yourself to pray and have faith so that you can see those blessings when they come back into you, you know? Don't doubt those blessings. Like, don't doubt the divine gifts, right? Clarify this star for us, Spirit. Yeah, Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups. Wow. For those of you who are definitely applying this to romantic relationships, you know, I mean, for some of you, and I mean, you have to apply that where it fits. You know, if it's a relationship that you are physically in any sort of danger, I mean, don't ever apply tarot readings and think, well, the tarot reader said it was going to be fine. No, if physically you are ever in danger, like you can, that card readings don't, like, that doesn't apply. Okay. That doesn't apply. I don't even know why I thought I needed to say that. But, you know, if it's a relationship by any means that right away you're like, okay, well, my intuition says that it's crossing boundaries, and that does not apply here. Okay. It's not a relationship that applies here. But for those of you who are like, well, I don't know, I think it's just my fears getting in the way. You know, the Ace of Cups here and the Hanged Man clarify this. You know, allow yourself the time to see things from a different perspective. Allow yourself to see the blessings here from a different point of view, you know? Go forward here with the faith that miracles do happen. Okay? That you have put in this work. Go forward with this idea that you don't need to be stuck in your own, I am my past, right? You're not. Your past has happened to you, but you are growing. You have grown. You've continued to show up and continue to grow, pile 3, right? You are not your past. You have come from your past. Now, what are you going forward? Who do you choose to be going forward, pile 3? This is going to be a big month for that, right? April, the season of Aries, is all about that season of making and taking action, right? Putting into step what it is that you want to see to come to fruition, what you want to see come to life. Beautiful. All right, let's finish up with some Moonology oracles here for you. The month going forward. 2 more, please, Spirit. Thank you. Okay, wow, yeah, look at that. Bring love into the situation, the new moon in Aquarius. Here it is, heart of the matter. Bring love into the situation, right? With that Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords. I get it. I think you've been a little cold there, pile 3. Bring love into the situation, okay? New moon in Aquarius. Adjustments are required, the third quarter moon, you know, and this is just spirit saying that, you know, you've done work, yes, but there's still some adjustments that are going to be required of you here in order to go forward, in order for growth to happen, right? Change is not comfortable, okay? So when we're comfortable and something uncomfortable starts coming to the surface, it's because change needs to happen. Step out of your comfort zone, pile 3, the North Node. Step out of your comfort zone. And your dreams need a practical plan, the full moon in Taurus, okay? We need to, by the energy of those dreams needing a practical plan, we need to do more than just wishing on this star, right? As much as this is Spirit's advice here to you, and there's the energy here of praying for, you know, praying for what you are hoping for, or praying for, you know, or wishing on a star, or whatever the case may be. You need to have a practical plan. You need to still be taking steps. You know, life doesn't come to us just by positive thinking, right? Yes, we need to have positive thinking, but we also need to actually take action steps to apply that positive thinking into our life. And that's the energy of that full moon in Taurus. All right, pile 3, well, that was a beautiful reading. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button. If you found resonation within this video, drop a yellow heart or a sunflower in the description box, not the description box, in the comment section. At the end of every month, I do a free personal read. And so all of those comments that have yellow hearts in them or sunflowers, those are all entered as ballots to win that free personal read. So if that's something you're into, be sure to drop one of those in the comment section. All right, guys. Well, until next time, take great care of your beautiful souls. Bye now.